Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
I'm glad you're joining us because today we're going to meet a young lady who has compassion for the homeless and wants to share the love of Jesus. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I am Sofia. Can you guess where in the world our guest comes from? Can you guess what state? If you guess Tennessee, you are correct. Let's welcome Hero.
Hi, Hero.
Hi.
Oh, you brought another dessert.
Wow.
We've got some dessert. What is this?
Chocolate lasagna.
Chocolate
Wow.
lasagna. So that I think that means it has layers. Do you like chocolate? Everybody that knows me
Yeah.
well knows I like chocolate.
Huh.
But that looks scrumptious. I can't wait to try it later. Did you help make it? Yeah? Okay. That's awesome. So you come from the state of Tennessee. Tell us a little bit about Tennessee.
There's sandhill cranes.
The sand hill cranes. Ooh, so that's a type of crane. Tell us about that.
They can grow up to 4 feet tall.
Wow, that's really cool.
And they're kind of elegant creatures,
Yeah.
aren't they? They fly very eloquently. Now, tell us about them. Why is that special for Tennessee? I think there's a festival there. Have you ever been to the festival? Okay, tell me about it.
So you have to ride this bus to get there.
Uh-huh.
And when we went there, it was raining.
Aw.
Okay.
But there's this little shelter where the sandhill cranes sit out in the field, and you could watch them under that.
Oh, so is there a big pond or something that they took all the tourists to go see the sand cranes? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a bus load of people. And why is that special? What do you like to do there?
I like to watch them.
Are there hundreds and hundreds?
Well, there's a few there.
Okay.
We saw a few when we were driving there.
Okay.
Wow.
That's kind of interesting. But I know that Tennessee is kind of considered the musical capital, I believe so, like in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a lot of people, and they say that a lot of people from there has 10 official state songs. Have you ever heard of a state having 10 official state songs?
No.
I guess they couldn't decide which song to sing or something. I don't know why that is, but I know Tennessee likes music for sure, right? And there is a lot of other things. I think the state insect is something that I like catching, and it glows at night. Do you know what that is?
Firefly?
Yeah.
Fireflies. Do you like catching fireflies? I like
Yes,
catching
they're fun.
fireflies. But Tennessee is known for a lot of battles. When I was teaching, when I was a teacher, we would hear about a lot of battles in the state of Tennessee. Do you know why that is? No? Because a lot of people from different states would come into the state of Tennessee and have a battlegrounds. A lot of them would come there, and a lot of people lost their lives because it was second to Virginia. So Tennessee is known, it's kind of like a crossword, because people that travel from east to west go through Tennessee, a lot of people, and people that travel from north to south travel through Tennessee. So Tennessee is kind of like a place where a lot of people travel. That's kind of interesting, huh? But you know what? I'm so glad that we don't have battles anymore in Tennessee. Aren't you glad? Because battles amongst other people is not what God wants us to have, right? No, He wants us to have the love of Jesus. So tell us, how are you sharing a little bit about Jesus, Hero?
I give bags out to the homeless because when we drop off my sister at her special ABA, we see a lot of homeless people.
Okay, so ABA, is that your school, or what does ABA stand for?
So she has autism,
Okay.
and she has a speech because she has trouble saying words
Okay.
to other people. So
You go visit her? Okay.
So, once we drop her off, we see lots of people with no homes, or they live under a shelter.
Oh, that's really sad.
It is sad. So something sprung you to ask your mom to help you give some care packages? Tell us what's in there. Can you give some examples?
We put water bottles, some snacks, socks, and mittens,
Okay.
and these little study guides with a pencil.
Oh, so you're witnessing a little bit about Jesus when you have those homeless things. And how often do you do this? Do you go with your mom, or how do you do it? Do you stop by, or what happens?
When there's a red light and we see someone that's really close, we roll down our window and we hand it to them.
That's something that all of us can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing some care packages like that. And you've been doing that for a while, haven't you? That's kind of special. I don't know about you, but I hope many of you take that opportunity that sometimes you have extra socks or extra water, and sometimes making those care packages ahead of time. It doesn't have to be always just at Thanksgiving, right? It can be at any time of the year. So tell us a little bit more. Is that something that you like to do? Is there anything else that you share Jesus with?
We put cards in grocery stores
Okay.
and restaurants.
And restaurants. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So there's something that you told me a little bit about that we were talking beforehand. And what do you think God is working on your character?
He called us to move to Tennessee. My mom and dad moved here because God told us to.
God told your family. Wow.
And it's working out really well.
Where did you move from?
Georgia.
From Georgia. So that is a big move for your family, isn't it? So yes, you haven't been in Tennessee very long. How long have you been in Tennessee?
I think from 2015.
Okay, from 2015, but that's pretty long. But so God is working on your character, and you were talking about keep doing what God wants you to be doing and not give up. Is that something that you feel like God's working on your character with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's something that you feel like giving up on that's easy to give up on?
Well, one time I was at my piano class and I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But then I just I like it, so then I just started doing it again.
So you were changing your attitude about piano? That sometimes is what we first have to do, is kind of change our attitude and our mind shift and say, okay, I'm going to continue doing that. Do you know that there's a word that we say not to give up? You know what that word is? It means to
Keep on going?
keep on going. It means perseverance. Can you say that word with me? Perseverance. And God wants us to show perseverance and keep doing it. And sometimes we call it grit. Other people use the phrase, oh, they've got to have some grit. You keep doing what you know you're supposed to do, even when you feel like giving up. Do you have something that you sometimes feel like giving up on?
Math.
Math. My daughter can sympathize with you. What's a math problem that's really hard for you?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. I remember doing that. And you still have to learn multiplication,
Yeah.
right? Because you're only in second grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she still has to learn multiplication, but you're right. Multiplication is hard. And what do you have to keep doing to learn your multiplication?
Keep on going.
Keep on going, and you have to keep practicing and practicing even when you don't like it. Do you use flashcards? Yeah, sometimes that's hard to do. And you know what? I'm thinking of some Bible characters that had to persevere. Do you know anybody in the Bible that had to keep doing what God wanted him to do, even though he felt like giving up?
Job.
Job is a prime example that I'm thinking of. You're right. What happened to Job?
He lost his children.
He lost his children. That was a very sad. And even his wife, was his wife very supportive?
No.
No. You know, that reminds me of Job 19, verse 25. Do you think you can help me read that? Verse 19, verse 25. Go ahead.
For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth.
So now keep in mind that Jesus hadn't been born when we have the story of Job, and yet he understood that God was going to be on his side and he was going to be with God. That's pretty amazing because his wife gave up on him, even his friends. Were they very supportive?
No.
They weren't overly very supportive, were they? And yet he had to what? What's that word? What's that P word?
Persevere.
Persevere. You need to persevere. So keep doing what you need to be doing. Do you have a prime example of something that you need to keep doing besides piano, besides multiplication? What else?
Like school.
School. For me, sometimes it's trying to balance my life and make time to exercise. Do you think that I feel like exercising sometimes with a full day of work? No. Do you? And sometimes we have to keep doing what we know we're supposed to be doing, right? And so don't give up because God wants us to constantly persevere. I'm wondering, is it time for our questions right now?
Yes.
Okay.
This question comes from a traveler who lives in Puerto Rico. His question is, did dinosaurs really exist?
Did dinosaurs really exist? What do you think?
Yes, they did.
Yes, because we know from science that we see dinosaur bones, so we know that they must have existed. But there's a question, were the dinosaurs in Noah's Ark? Well, based on Genesis 6, verse 20, we know that all the creatures that God created were in the ark. So I believe that if the dinosaurs were not created by God, would they be in the ark?
No.
No, they wouldn't be in the ark. So I don't know whether man may have played with the genetics or if God really did, because it did create the dinosaurs. Because I don't know if you've studied a little bit about dinosaurs, but did you know that they had many of them had a really small brain like a cat for a big dinosaur?
Yeah.
So it's possible that maybe God didn't make them. We don't know, but we know that they must have existed. And there's times where we hear about the word dragon in the Bible. Have you heard of the word dragon?
Yeah.
So maybe they're referring to dinosaurs. We don't know. But I can't wait until we get to heaven because we're going to learn more about God and his creation of these wonderful animals. And, you know, whatever the case is, we want to be more like who?
God.
We want to have God. So is there something that I'm going to have to say that I need to persevere in? Can you think of something that we can each persevere and show a little more grit to? Like for me, I sometimes have to make a little more time for Jesus.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm in such a hurry, I want to hurry up and read my devotion and get through with it, and that I don't even pray afterward. Because I need to have God I need to take a little bit of who Jesus is and pray about it. Because it's through my character that I can be more like him.
Yeah.
And so we have to keep persevering, right?
Yeah.
So do you think of something else that you want to grow? Let's talk about spiritually. What is something that we can grow spiritually?
We can read the Bible more.
Okay, read the Bible more. I like that.
Yeah.
We can pray before a test and pray more often.
And pray more often. I like these ideas. Making time for God is helping us to grow our character. And it is through those hard times that we can persevere, right? And grow to be more like Jesus, because that's exactly what he wants us to do, is through these hard times, we keep going and keep doing what we need to be doing. If we choose to keep going and never give up, we know that we are changing and growing for the better. Pray for guidance and strength and have the faith in knowing that God is finishing the race for you.